Um, you know, when you do these webinars, you figure a plan and you usually try to figure out what you're going to do ahead of time. And you set it up and you get it all ready. And then 2 minutes ago, I just threw my plan pretty much out the window. My boss really wanted me to teach you how to trade the news. But I realized in setting up this webinar and trying to show you how to trade the news, the way that we trade it, it wasn't possible for me to do it. So I'm going to actually do it a different way. I'm going to teach you how to trade the news properly, but unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your viewpoint, you really need to use software to trade the news properly, to do it the way we do it. We don't trade the news after a report. We trade the news the moment a report is released. So let me backtrack and just start by saying, first off, one of the things that I do for people is I go onto their computers and I help them set up their charts. So I go on their machines and I look at their computers, and believe me, I couldn't care less what anyone has on their computer, other than I'm concerned that their resources are low and that their machine is fast. In order to trade the news, you absolutely have to be able to work quickly, and your computer has to be quick. I go onto people's machines and they've got tablets that are so slow, transformers that have atom processors in them, and so the first thing that I want to tell people is don't be your own worst enemy. If you want to trade the news, and you've heard all your life, if you trade the news, you're going to lose money. If you don't trade the news. I mean, that's what you've heard. You can't trade the news. You'll fail. It's just not going to work. And we've proven that that's not true. You can absolutely trade the news, and I'll show you that. But if you're going to trade the news, don't be your own worst enemy. Don't have an underfunded account, okay? If you're going to trade the news and you have a $3,000 futures account, forget it. You're going to lose all your money. It's just that simple. It's the rare person that could take a $3,000 account and turn it into a $20,000 or $50,000 account without losing the money first. It's just difficult to do. For anything, whether you're a regular day trader, an options trader, any trader, $3,000 is considered, in my opinion, an underfunded account. The other thing that our company does is we actually tell you how to trade before the news is released. So we have a report that comes out. For instance, we have the natural gas report coming out. The trade is on Thursday. So we send out this report. We call it a high impact report alert. And we send it out to our members. And I'm amazed. Every time I come into the trading room, half of the people, well, a quarter of the people in the room have not read the reports that we send. So again, if you are underprepared, ill-prepared, not prepared, you are going to be your own worst enemy. Read the reports. Be prepared. And these are seemingly simple, foolish, ridiculous things that I'm saying to you, but they are the most important things that I'm finding. If you're using a program that has multiple workspaces, only use one workspace at a time if you're trading the news. I go onto people's computers, they have 10 workspaces open all at once. It slows down your computer, reduces your speed, it increases your slippage, okay? Never have unnecessary programs enabled on startup when you use your computer. And this is for all day trading. If you're a day trader and you've got scanners running in the background and virus programs scanning and doing things, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt your slippage. Get rid of all that stuff. Buy the fastest machine you can afford. You don't have to spend extra money on a quote-unquote trading computer, because in my opinion there really is no such thing. A trading computer is a good gaming computer. It means that it has a lot of memory, it's got a fast processor, and you know, there's people that'll tell you it's a trading computer, but I've never seen a trading computer that's any different from a gaming computer. So in my opinion, you don't have to spend extra money on a quote trading computer. Just get the fastest computer you can absolutely afford, and in this day and age you have to get an i7. You kidding yourself if you do anything less. You don't want to trade wireless, okay? Trade wired. Be connected. You're going to be faster and more reliable. We happen to use NinjaTrader, but I would probably say this: if you're going to trade the news on any platform, reboot your platform before your trades, okay? That is a smart thing to do. Scott's asking if I'm going to change the slides. You know what, Scott? I don't care that much about the slides. Eventually I'll change them. But I just decided to get into this first instead. But I will change the slides. Use as few charts as possible. Reboot your platform. Make sure your computer time is in perfect sync. I will not trade at all if I've got a time trade, because all our trades are time-based trades, because like I said, we trade the news at the moment a report is released. Like I said, we do a natural gas trade the moment that natural gas report is released. If your computer is not time synced, what does that mean? Your report is going to come out early, your news trade is going to be all out of sync, you're going to be out of whack, you're going to lose money. Okay, so you don't want to work against yourself. I will not trade unless my sync is perfect. I have free tools. If you need free tools to help get your computer in sync, you can email me. I'll give you my email before I go, or it's I'll give it to you right now. It's procol, P-R-O-C-O-L 33 at Gmail. P-R-O-C-O-L 33 at Gmail. If you want help with getting your computer in sync, just send me an email and I'll send you some free tools on how to sync your computer. It's very easy and you don't have to pay extra to do it. Okay? So I decided before I even started my presentation, I would just give you a little bit of a heads up. I was just so frustrated the other day. I was in my trading room and people were asking me questions where I could absolutely tell they had not read the reports that we send them a day before the trade. So they were hurting themselves. They were hurting themselves, not being prepared. And that is the key. And that's the key for trading of any type that you do. It's the key to life. Be prepared, right? You get in your car. If you don't know how to drive the car, you're not prepared, you're going to crash your car. You're going to crash your trade if you're not ready to make your trade. So it's very important to do things the right way. And trading, more than anything, is really at the top of all things to do properly. So we started a trade room for our company is called JOBB, Joe Bracket Breakout. We have a trade room. It's freetraderoom.com. And like we said, we trade the news for profit, hopefully. Of course, every trade we take isn't perfect. And that's why we have a risk disclosure. Every trader has a risk disclosure. Sometimes you lose money. Sometimes you screw up. Sometimes you make a platform error. So be prepared. Be ready. Be prepared. Have enough money in your account. Okay. My goal here today is I want to teach you to trade the news. I'm going to show you, I was going to show you how to trade the news on your own completely. And then I realized it's almost impossible to do it the way we do it. If you understand how we do it, totally, what happens is, for instance, here's a quick look at the guys that make up our company. Eric Spiker just had a new baby girl. He's got a little son, Eli. Jay Offner is the founder of our program. He designed the program, the JOBB software. We do have a new range trade option that I helped design, but really it really came from Jay's brain because he designed the program. I just made a minor change to it so that you could do something very interesting. We can now design our own trades. And I'll show you that feature because I think it's the most fun, enjoyable feature of our program. And Jay is the guy here, right here in the middle. He is a submarine commander, works for the Department of Defense. Very interesting, technical, nice guy. And that's me. I'm just like all the people in this room. I am really not a professional trader. I was a musician. I still am a musician. And I just was fanatically passionate about trading the news and about trading. And I just kept writing letters to JOBB, telling them to do this and to do that to make their program even better than what it was. And eventually they said, you know what, I can't stand your letters, we're going to hire you. And they hired me. So I work part-time for them. News Trading 101, so you understand exactly what news trading means, is reports are released at specific times during the month, and that report changes a futures instrument. It might be CL, which is oil. It might be GC, which is gold. There are different reports. It might be the Australian dollar, which is one of the reports I'm going to show you today in my lesson on news trading, and I'm going to show you why it's so hard to trade news without software. But the second that the report is released, it causes the instrument, the Australian dollar or the natural gas instrument, to pop or drop instantaneously with the news that's released. In other words, if storage is very, very high on natural gas, then often the price will drop. If storage is very, very low, then very often the price will go up. And the hard thing about trading the news, sometimes it doesn't follow the rules. So you got to, think. You've got to be on your toes. Sometimes it'll go up when you expect it to go down. And that's where software keeps you safe. So you want to have software that keeps you safe. We are currently using NinjaTrader. Right now we're still on NinjaTrader 7. We've been waiting for NinjaTrader 8 to really get every bit of the bugs worked out. We're in no rush to be the first guy on the block on the new platform. But we're also looking at other platforms to add to our program, because we realize not everybody wants to use NinjaTrader, and you got to expand and grow in this business, and it's also exciting for us. We want to add some other platforms. We're looking at TradeStation, and we're looking at MetaTrader. We're looking at a whole bunch of different things. And we like to know, if you feel like sending me an email, procall33@gmail, you could tell me what platform you like or what platform you'd like to see news trading on. I'd love to hear from you about that. And this is a sample down here. The most important thing that we do and the way that we prepare for our news trading is what we do. And I'm going to put slides on top of slides. So I'm going to do things a little bit out of whack, a little crazy. We use this website called Forex Factory. It's one of the best sites that we use. And one of the things we use it for is to find our trades. Obviously, you don't have news trading unless you have, reports to trade. So we use Forex Factory. We use investing.com. We use one of the best news sites that I've ever seen that one of our members showed me is fasteconomicnews.com. Fabulous site, fabulous site. FX Street, any of the Forex news sites, even though we trade futures only, the Forex news sites still relate, because news is news is news. And it's most often going to cause the futures to move, and it's going to cause the Forex to move also. So keep that in mind. So fasteconomicnews.com, great site for you to know. You go to their schedule, you go to their calendar, and it tells you, you look and you can see exactly what reports are coming out for the week. And we're on Tuesday, right? Yeah, we're Tuesday. So you can go through the reports. This morning the JOLTS report came out, didn't really do much. Hasn't been a big moving report. Today was actually a very quiet day. There's an API report at 4:30. Some people like to trade oil. That's a popular report for some people. Very high slippage report. You've got to be careful on that one. Tomorrow we trade the oil report every week. Very, very exciting report to trade because it's very, very wild. I've actually been looking at some of the Mexican peso reports. We've never traded them before, but I'm a fanatical tester, and that's something also that if you want to be a great news trader, then I think it's important to like to test, because if you like to test, you can find new reports, and that's sort of how I found our new program, or it's how I added features to our program. Because of all the testing I did, I realized that at 9 o'clock in the morning, oil, when the pit opened, very often moved in a very similar manner, and I'll show you what it did this morning. I'll show you two things in a couple of minutes. So Just as a reminder, forexfactory.com, myfxbook.com, fasteconomicnews.com, excellent, excellent websites to find the reports that you want to trade. And the way that you find them is actually very simple. So it's easier to see them on Forex Factory, okay? So if we shoot onto Forex Factory real quick, what you get is these red fiery little triangles here, or squares, and that's a very volatile, what it signifies as volatile report. And then you can open up the folder and it gives you the last dates that that report was traded, and that's how you could test those reports if you like testing like I do. And so you can see that we are interested in the crude report. We might be interested in the British pound at 4:30 in the morning if you like to get up early. That's a trade that we do trade. U.S. unemployment claims, we don't currently trade that because it hasn't moved the markets enough, believe it or not. But I'm looking at it. I'm going to find a trade on that. Our big trade this week for me will probably be core retail sales. It moves gold really well and it moves the bonds really well. Very exciting report. Retail, we discovered in our trading room, I guess about 2 months ago, that report, Jay was trading the bonds, and I found with my testing that gold was doing incredibly well on a lot of reports that we were trading bonds on, meaning that gold would move dramatically at the same moment that the news report was released. So let me give you an idea what I'm talking about. I'll show you a very quick video of a non-farm payroll report that we traded recently so you can see what happens. It happens so fast. Our program puts these brackets on your NinjaTrader chart, okay? And this was live in front of a lot of people. I can tell you that right now. You can see my account number if you want to try and steal my money. Go ahead. There's not enough money in there to make you rich. Boom, the price went down. You see how fast that happened? The price actually exploded down. My profit is going up as I'm continuing in this report. Literally, the report took place at 8:30. 6 seconds after the report was released, my profit was $312. We've traded 10 out of the last 12 non-farm payroll reports profitably, and almost all of them have been that fast. It's been one of our favorite reports. But that's what I mean about news trading. You release a report, the government releases a report. In this case, it was job numbers. Those numbers came out. It made the bonds, ZB, which we were trading that day. The report looks like it was probably good because usually bonds go down when the market's going up. So I'm assuming the report was good that month and it caused the bonds to drop. We traded the bonds and we made money. Okay, and that's what our program does. It automates news trading. Can you imagine how difficult it would be to try and catch the speed of that move manually? And that's what I realized that my boss that it was going to be difficult for me to be able to show you. Let me go through my slides real quick and then I'll actually show you a real trade that could have taken place this morning had you done it. This is a sample, again, of the type of report we send the day before the news that we're going to trade. We trade the final GDP, that's US. It tells you how risky the trade is. It tells you what instrument we're going to trade, the bonds or ZB. It talks about a bunch of the previous reports. We give you what we call the bracket. You saw our brackets on the screen. The brackets are targets above and below the current price, and then we also give you the stop. So that's why you want to make sure you read that report before you come into the room to trade the day before, right? Read it the day before. We like to use futures rather than Forex. We just feel that we like the leverage. There's an exchange. There's a little bit more regulation. The brokers are a little bit less transparent. More transparent, I mean, not less. They stay out of the way more than the Forex brokers do. That's what I would say for news trading. We also have a program that's called the Trap Trade. So we actually now have 3 different types of programs that trades that we take. The Trap Trade is a trade where we expect the news to make an index go up and then drop down, or go down and then pop up, okay? So it's a report that we expect when a reversal is imminent, okay? And that's called the trap trade. So we have the trap, we have the breakout. Of course, we have a members area, just like everybody does that, you know, functions in this part of the market the way we do. We have videos, educational videos, instructional videos, information on news trading, just all sorts of stuff. Archives of old news reports, old trades. Very, very nice member site. Okay. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff, of course, that we include with our program, but I didn't want to get into that stuff immediately. I'll talk about money and things like that in a little bit. Let me shoot through, show you my favorite video, or it's not a video, it's actually a picture. One of our members made $4,500 trading the oil inventory report, and I will say this, you can tell he had quite a few contracts. He traded 10 contracts on that report, but I love that. I love that. It's a fantastic, fantastic graphic. What I want to show you, if I can do it, is this is actually my real Ninja Trader program. We used Ninja Trader, and I wanted to show you why it's so hard to trade the news on your own. One of the reports that we traded this week, and that I've been doing extensive testing on, is the Australian retail sales. Okay, and I'll show you using Ninja Replay, because what I did, obviously this report isn't trading right now, so I can't show it to you live. I've recorded it, and I'm going to show it to you taking place 5 seconds before the report actually was generated. Okay, so watch what happens. You're going to see a big explosion in price. The clock here is the clock we're watching, 59.
Order pending.
There's our brackets. That's how fast the news report caused the price to move. How could you possibly manually fiddle with that screen and put your price targets on? In other words, I'd have to put a stop on, I have to put a target on, and I have to move them around. It's not possible. And so I realized when I was talking, after I talked to my boss today, I realized I can't show you how to trade the news the way we trade it manually, because you can't do it. It can't be done manually. You just can't do it. Not if you're trading news at the exact moment that the report is released. Now, if you watch actually what continued to happen in this report, is very interesting. It pulled back dramatically, and then if you think there might have been so much slippage that you didn't get filled and you wouldn't have really made that money, you can watch and see the price actually is going to go up very close to where our fills were as it goes up, and it made a new high up there. So you could see you really would have made money on that report, okay? But the reason I can't show you how to trade the news manually is because I don't think you can do it, okay? People tell you you're going to lose money if you trade the news, and if you try to do it manually, it's just too hard to get your targets, your stops on the screen before the report is released. So that's what our program does for you. Let me show that to you once again, just so you get an idea, using Ninja Replay. It only takes a second. I love Ninja Replay because it's fantastic. It just lets you practice. First off, you can practice, become a better trader with it, and you can study. And in order to become a great trader, I believe you have to study. That's the most important thing.
Order pending. Order filled.
So that's how fast, order pending, order filled, that's how fast that report caused the price to move. It was literally less than a second. It was less than a second. So I just wanted to show you that. That's our bracket trade, okay? That's what we call a bracket trade. This morning, I did not watch oil, okay? But what I did is I downloaded oil this morning. So oil is CL2 is the instrument that oil is currently trading. And I helped to design, what I'm going to do is set my Ninja Trader simulator. I'm just going to reset it to 0, okay, so that you could see what would have happened with 0 money up here on this particular trade. So the first step you have to do, and wasn't really planning to give a lesson on Ninja Replay, but it is important. And today, so we're using today's date, and we're using the 10th, and the time of the trade, the year, of course, is 2017. When it works. There we go. My computer has been a little bit funky today, so forgive me. I didn't reboot. I broke my own rule and didn't reboot my computer before we started this morning. So this program that I designed, it lets us create a range. And what I discovered is that oil, if you look at oil at around 8:59 to 9 o'clock, so let's make it 50 seconds. I'll do it 10 seconds before the report. And then what I'm going to do is set this up on the Ninja Replay also. Obviously, you have to set it up so that it's going to work at the time you want it to work. So we take our strategy. It's called the breakout strategy, Joe bracket breakout. And then what we do is adjust our parameters, and I use 2 ticks above the range that I create, 2 ticks below the range I create. I'm using a time range trade. That's the type of trade that we're using. And then the entry time that I discovered that oil was moved in a very similar way every day, okay? And nothing does it every day, but many days, was from 8:55, and actually I mean to do that up here, 8:55 to 9 o'clock is what I call my oil range trade. So I'm going to get into the trade at 9 o'clock, okay, from 8:55. So my program is going to draw a range for me. And then what I'm going to do is I've discovered that I'm going to do 2 contracts, 5 ticks for each contract, and I'm going to use a 10-tick stop, and that's my trade, okay? And I didn't look until about 2 minutes before I got here to see what oil did this morning on this trade. So I didn't know that it did what I like to see. So here's what our program does, which also, what's so fascinating to me about this program now, we added some features to our breakout program that now let you create any range that you want. And I know that there's professional traders out there. There are people that trade the mini S&P from 9:30 to 10, and they do it every day. And they can now use our program to create a half-hour range on the mini S&P. You could trade earnings, okay? You could trade this particular oil trade. So what I did is I created a 5-minute range. It started at 8:55. It ends at 9. It's going to end literally in 7 seconds. And then what's going to happen, you see the range is actually changing as we're talking.
Order pending.
And then it puts my 2 ticks above the range, my 2 ticks below the range. And then a range trade is a little bit slower. It brought me into the trade rather quickly this morning. And then, as you can see, what the idea is, I honestly thought, because oil had been dropping before the pit opened, very often it'll either reverse or it'll keep dropping. And you don't know 100% what it's going to do. But the odds are that the direction it goes at that 9 o'clock trade is the direction it's going to take for a couple of minutes. And boom, that's what it did this morning. it made my 10 ticks, and it made it, if you look at the clock, it was 46 seconds after the trade, after the oil pit opened. Okay, so you keep in mind my trade range started at 8:55, it ended at 9, and then I was entered into the trade a couple of seconds after 9, and by 9 o'clock and 46 seconds, I had grossed $100, okay? Had I done the trade. I was only testing this morning. I hadn't done it because I was just preparing for this webinar, and I hadn't traded this morning. But this is one of the, what I call one of our marquee range trades. It's a trade that a lot of people in a lot of different places use. Oil, I'm not the only guy in the world that noticed that oil moves at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's just a very, very popular time for oil to move. And that's what our range trade does. So that's trade number 2. And then we have another type of trade that we call the trap trade. And the trap trade is kind of a funny trade. The FOMC is one of our trap trades. Very, very interesting. I just have to find one. Or core durable goods is a trap trade. I happen to have that one here. So this is a live core durable goods trade that I took in our trade room. And you can tell that it's live because you can see my account. Okay? When you go into somebody's trade room and you don't see their account number, then you pretty much can guess that they're not showing you a real trade, they're simming. And there's nothing wrong with simulation some of the time, okay? But if somebody is not telling you what they're doing, then you at least want to know the truth, what's going on, so you know what to base your decisions on. Sim trading does not give you the same results that live trading gives you. Here is our trap trade. The way that our trap trade works, it puts orders under the current price, orders above the current price, and then depending upon how the price moves when the news is released, it'll get into the trade, either above the price or below the price. Then what we expect it to do, what's nice about the trap trade, it's virtually a no-slip trade because when the market is dropping, we're buying with limit orders. And when the market's going up, we're selling with limit orders. So there's virtually no slippage. Rosa is saying she has no sound. Rosa, you're the only one. So if you can't hear, try to log. Well, you're not going to hear me. So somebody typed you, so forget what I just said. So the trap trade, we're buying when it's going down. We're selling when we're going up. No slippage. Very, very nice feature of the trade. I'm just going to show you this trade quickly. It was live in front of, we had probably 50, 60 people possibly in the room that morning. I don't remember exactly. The trade took place at 9 o'clock on the dot, and you can see here's the current price. At 9 o'clock, our arrow will actually get put on the screen. That will be the actual current price. It actually happened very fast. Usually a trap trade doesn't always fill that fast. It filled us immediately. It dropped down, filled us live, and then you could see we were up $100 like in a matter of seconds, and then it went up, okay, very, very quickly. And I was fumbling around a little bit on the screen, which we do all the time, but that's the idea of the trap trade, is that as it went down, I was going long, and I was long 2 contracts, and then the price, first it dropped, and then it popped. Okay, and that's how we look at a trap trade. It's a drop and a pop, or a pop and a drop trade. Real simple, real simple. And that's the trap trade. So that was a trade that we did live, honestly. And you can see we took it live. The trade, that was fast for a trap trade. It was over in 48 seconds. Most of our trades, not including the range trade. Range trades are slower because ranges sometimes take time to develop, okay? They take time to develop. But the trap trades, they could take 4 minutes or so, some of them. But the breakout trades, you saw that they're over usually within a couple of seconds. We traded very recently Australian GDP was last week. So I wanted to show you a couple of things that some of our members did. Because one of the things that we love the most is our members are always sending in screens of their trades to us. And we throw them up on our Twitter feed. We throw them up on our Facebook feed. This is one of our members, traded Australia. You could see 6A. You could see it's live because he crossed out his account. And he made $720 on the Australian trade last week. No joke. I mean, I'm not joking. And he only traded 2 contracts. 2. Okay? It was a big moving trade, and he had good fills. Okay? And then we had another member sent us his pictures also. Not as big a trade for him, but not a bad trade at all. He made $160. Okay? And again, his account is wiped out. He only traded 1 contract, and he made less money, less of a fill, not quite as good of a fill. Maybe he had different targets, because one of the things about our program, you can set your own targets. Our entries are automated, but there are discretionary factors as part of our system. Okay? So that was last week's Australian GDP, which we traded live in the room and made money on that trade as well. We trade so many reports. I mean, I can go over just quickly so you have an idea. It's really a lot of fun. I mean, this week we've got the WASD report, which is a grain report. That report doesn't even show up unless you really look hard for it. You have to actually find it on the Department of Agriculture has a calendar. Okay, it's USDA. You have to Google the Department of Agriculture, and you can find their calendar. So that's another thing you can do to find trades. And that's one of the things that we teach our members, how to find and design their own trades. Our new range trader now, because you could create a range, any instrument, any time frame, anywhere on anything, you can make up any trade that you could imagine. So it really changed our whole system. It changed everything we do because it gave people the power to completely and totally custom design their own trades, besides all of the oil trades that we normally take, all of the natural gas trades that we take. And natural gas is something we trade a lot live in the room. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Okay? And natural gas, I have a lot of rules that I use with natural gas. This was a natural gas trade. It takes place at 10:30. It's going to be in a second. You could see, boom, it goes up real fast. I had a target in of 15 ticks. On natural gas, I'm very picky the way that I trade it. So in this particular report, even though it went higher than 15 ticks, I made $150. I left a lot of money on the table on that report. But natural gas, again, I have rules. We have rules. And in that particular day, my target was 15 ticks, and I made my target. And that's perfectly okay. You don't always have to make $1,000 on one trade because you're not going to. You know, if you make $200 on a trade or $150 on a trade, and you make a couple of those trades every day, that's a nice living. And of course, every trade's not a winner. So, you know, you have to realize you're going to have some negative trades also. This week, what I was talking about, how I think it's so much fun to trade all these reports. We're going to trade the 30-year bond auction. We're going to trade, I think there's probably a trade in Chinese trade balance. The problem is they don't release it at a reliable time. When something says tentative, you have to be careful. So, hey, maybe you can make that into a range trade because we'll know approximately when that's going to come out. And we also know that the Australian dollar and copper are 2 instruments that move a lot on Chinese news, okay? So that's something to keep in mind if you want to learn about news trading. What instruments move on certain reports? On the Chinese reports, we've discovered copper, Australian dollar, because that economy, the Australian economy, which is big on copper, and of course the Australian dollar, is very tied into the Chinese economy. and we don't have a way to trade the Chinese currency yet. There's no way to do it. That, at least not that I know of, not in futures. And then also this week, big trade for us, retail sales with core PPI. That's one of our big trades. Very, very good trade for us. I'm constantly discussing with our founder, Jay trades it on bonds. I like it on gold. My testing shows that gold is awesome on that trade. Bonds are also great on that trade. So that's a excellent trade that we have coming up this week. It's very, very enjoyable to trade a news report that literally in 7 seconds you can make $200–300 and be done with the trade. You don't have to watch your charts all day. You don't have to sit in front of your computer all day. The nice thing about it is that you can set your own schedule, and that's another beautiful thing about our system. We set our own schedule. So, you know, what do you think we should charge for this? We are really, one of the problems that we have in our company is we're constantly discussing what we should charge for what we offer. We have a brand new trade room now. We never used to have a trading room. We have we have a brand new trade that literally opens up the whole world of trading to any kind of trade that you want to trade. You can now trade it. We've literally changed everything that we do. And we are so unbelievably reasonably priced, it's absurd. We charge, we're going to give a special, we have a special for this webinar, and I guess I'll throw my PowerPoint back on. Give me a second, because that's my job. I was here, okay, and I just wanted to give you a heads up. NinjaTrader is easy to use. If you need help, we'll help you with NinjaTrader. We have a million. First off, NinjaTrader, just so you know, they have a million videos that help you to trade their program. I mean, they show you what to do. It's real easy. What we do and what we're going to do is, if you go to our website, go to newjob.info, for just 67 bucks for 2 months, we'll let you try our system. $67 for 2 months, and that includes every single thing that we offer, everything. www.newjob.info, $67. It's ridiculous. I know, it's ridiculous. You get our range trader, you get the software for 2 computers activated, our trading room, all the educational videos, all of the reports that we give. We wanted to make this special. It's the new year. We wanted people to be able to take time to see what our system does, to get a feel for how good it is, how reliable it is, how safe it is. What's the renewal price? Scott's asking. Awesome question. Scott, we only charge $67 a month after that, okay? We are incredibly reasonable, and we are going up big time at literally within 30 days probably, because we're going to charge separately for the trade room. Our trade room's been free for 6 months. Our renewal price right now is $67, but this deal is only good until midnight tonight. I'm telling you that right now. This deal ends midnight tonight, okay? So you got to go to newjob.info, 67 bucks for 2 months, and then you can renew it after that for $67. I mean, it's a deal and a half. It's a deal and a half. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we charge $67 for everything that we offer. But I actually like having reasonable prices, because then we have a lot of members. I like helping people. I really am passionate about this stuff. I love news trading. I always was frustrated if I had to pay $500 to be in a trading room. I always thought it was a lot of money, and it always put a lot of pressure on me. We don't want to put pressure on you. We want you to pay 67 bucks. We want you to take 2 months to get a good feel for our system, and then so that you know that we're legitimate, that we're being honest, okay? Kerry asked a great question. I've never traded futures before. I don't even know what platform to use for this. Kerry, we would help you with that. With our system, you have to use NinjaTrader right now, so the platform is chosen for you, okay? And that's that. That's what you do. You use NinjaTrader. It's not hard to do. If it's something you want to learn, it's definitely something you can do. And again, my showing you the Ninja replay, Kerry, just so you know, that's the way that you learn, okay? In other words, by practicing. So that's how you could get started. And they have a 2-week trial where you could try out NinjaTrader, see what you think. And I think they don't even charge, if I remember correctly. You just go to ninjatrader.com and you can check them out. And they're actually very nice people, great tech support. We don't have any problems using NinjaTrader as our platform currently. But I just wanted you to see all the great things that we give you for a small amount of money. My time is running out, so I'm giving you the hard sell now, which I'm not allowed to do. I'll call it the soft sell. $67, newjob.info. If you want to reach me, it expires tonight, $67 for 2 months. Newjob with 2b's.info. If you need help, you can reach me at support@joebracketbreakout.net, or you can have my personal email, and I'm serious, it's really my personal email address, procol33@gmail.com. Procol33, like the great band Procol Harum. Okay? My time is running out, so I'll say it one more time. Go to newjob.info, 2 months for $67. If you're not willing to try, if you are always interested in trying news trading, this is a phenomenal opportunity to do it at a really, really amazing price. So I hope, number one, I taught you something about news trading and that you left here knowing more than you knew when you got here. And I hope that you'll contact me if you have any questions, procol33@gmail.com. My name is Leigh Goldstein, and I want to thank my friends at Investor Inspiration for having me today. And I'm done for today. Thanks very much. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the trading room.